Next week's breakdown. Monday, March 17, Traci interrogates Alan. Billy makes a discovery about Phyllis. Nick forms a plan to help Sharon. Tuesday, March 18, Victor gives Kyle a reality check. Lily questions Damien's motives. Holden presses his luck with Audra. Wednesday, March 19, Jack and Diane counsel Traci. Nick receives an unexpected invitation. Sparks fly between Adam and Chelsea. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers and preview for March 17 to 21, 2025 tease some intense confrontations, shocking confessions, and looming dangers. From Sharon putting Nick on the spot to Summer's growing fears and Traci's risky move, here's what's coming up on Y and R's latest preview video. Damien's concern for Amy's condition. The preview video kicks off with Damien Kane arriving at Nate Hastings' apartment, searching for answers about Amy Lewis. Concerned about his mother's well-being, Damien demands to know if it's true that she has been admitted to a hospital in Chicago. However, this may not be all bad news. Amy's hospitalization might be part of a new treatment plan, giving her a better chance at survival. While Nate may reassure Damien that everything is under control, tensions will remain high as Amy's fate hangs in the balance. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon forces Nick's reunion confession. After months of emotional turmoil, Sharon is ready for clarity. She sits Nick down and demands the truth. Does he ever think about them getting back together? While Sharon has clearly been entertaining the idea of a reunion, she needs to know if Nick feels the same way. Whether Nick confesses lingering feelings or not, Sharon wants complete honesty. This conversation could shift their dynamic forever and set the stage for a potential rekindling or a firm decision to move forward separately. Following her mother's traumatic ordeal, Summer sits down with Phyllis to process the aftermath of the kidnapping. While Summer is relieved that Phyllis is safe, she is also terrified that the mastermind behind it all is still at large. The threat remains, and Summer voices her concern that the perpetrator might not be finished yet. Phyllis doesn't hold back when describing her captor, calling them a total whack job, but her words do little to ease Summer's fears. The reality that the kidnapper hasn't been caught means Phyllis could still be in danger, leaving Summer anxiously bracing for what comes next. Traci's discovery puts her in danger elsewhere. Alan Laurent, also known as Martin Laurent, is about to get a nasty surprise. After stepping out of the bathroom at the athletic club, Martin catches Traci Abbott holding his phone. The tension spikes instantly as Martin demands to know what she's doing. Traci, who has already seen alarming messages about a security breach at the clinic where Sharon and Phyllis were held, will likely confront Martin about what she found. But as she inches closer to the truth, she may unknowingly be putting herself in grave danger. With Martin's history of deception and manipulation, his reaction could be unpredictable and deadly. The drama in Genoa City never stops, and the Young and the Restless fans have witnessed an unexpected transformation. Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers, once bitter enemies, may finally be on the path to friendship. After enduring a terrifying kidnapping ordeal together, these two strong women have found common ground in their fight for survival. Sharon and Phyllis have spent years at odds, battling over love, betrayal, and personal grudges. However, their recent captivity changed everything. Locked away by an unknown captor, who was later revealed as Martin Laurent, posing as Alan, their usual hostility had to take a backseat to survival. Instead of fighting each other, Sharon and Phyllis had no choice but to work together. From strategizing an escape to keeping each other sane through their darkest moments, they formed a bond neither of them expected. For once, they saw each other beyond their past mistakes. The Young and the Restless. Sharon Case speaks on the shift. Sharon Case, the actress who plays Sharon, recently spoke to Soaps in depth about this storyline. She revealed that this kidnapping was unlike any of her character's past abductions because she wasn't alone this time. Instead, she was locked up with Phyllis, and the experience changed both of them. It was intense, Case admitted, but you get a groove that way. You really get a good focus. She explained how working closely with Michelle Stafford Phyllis for weeks helped bring depth to their characters' evolving relationship. Case also teased an upcoming episode that was particularly challenging to film. With no room for multiple takes, both actresses had to get it right in one go. The emotional weight of that moment will likely cement the shift in Sharon and Phyllis' relationship. What happens next for Sharon and Phyllis? Though they have been rescued by Billy Abbott and Nick Newman, Sharon and Phyllis' troubles are far from over. They now have to process the trauma of their captivity. Both women are strong in their own ways, but the experience will leave lasting scars. Sharon and Phyllis may not suddenly become best friends, but their interactions will change. Instead of outright hostility, they might share a complicated bond, one filled with respect, understanding, and perhaps occasional tension. It gives Sharon and Phyllis some reason in the future to play hot and cold with each other, Case explained. They have that bond now, but they still have reasons to feel either way about each other. In the latest promo for Young and the Restless, old feelings are stirred up, and questions surrounding Phyllis and Sharon's kidnapping continue to mount. Yet none of them are aware the kidnapper is among them, but one person has unknowingly stumbled on the truth. Damien was convinced to stick around Genoa City and began mending fences with his mother. Of course, his interest in Lily was a bonus reason not to leave town. Nate also convinced Emmy to see his friend for another opinion regarding her prognosis. Next week, Nate lets Damien into his apartment and asks, "Hey, what's going on?" Damien replies, "You tell me. Is it true? Has my mom been admitted to a hospital in Chicago? Has Amy taken a turn for the worse? Or might that second opinion reveal something new?" Nick and Billy received cryptic messages, which led them, along with Chance, to the building in which Sharon and Phyllis were being held captive. And they got there just in time to save the women as gas began filling their room. Next week, after the ordeal they've been through, Sharon naturally has some questions for Nick. She wants him to be honest with her about his feelings. "Do you ever think about us getting back together?" What will his answer be? Meanwhile, Summer asks Phyllis, "So the kidnapper wanted you to be found?" Phyllis says, "Yeah, whoever did it is a total whack job." Summer frets, "This person hasn't been caught yet. That means that you're still in danger." They have no idea the danger is closer than they realize. Finally, Traci, newly engaged to Ellen, ended up trying to silence his cell phone when it kept going off, only to see a message about a security breach and that protocols had been enacted. She has no idea that Alan is the kidnapper, but she might be about to find out. In the final moments of the promo, Alan tells Traci, "I say we do the town big. I want to show the woman I love." He stops short when he sees her holding his cell phone. "What are you doing?" he asks. Will Alan be able to talk himself out of this one? Heck, is Alan really Alan? Or is he his twin, Martin? There's nothing worse than coming across a fake social media account that claims to be you, and these days, the soap stars have been faced with their own names being used to prey on fans. The Young and the Restless Traci E. Bregman is one of many currently facing this issue, one that has been rather frustrating to rectify. The CBS soap vet took to her official Instagram page to alert her followers that a fake TikTok account is out there pretending to be her. Not only are those behind the account asking people for money, they are talking to them and pretending to be her. Unfortunately, TikTok didn't take down the account. Bregman stated then went on to explain, "I had to start a new one, but honestly, I usually just post here, and God's Table podcast will be posting on all formats, including TikTok." She also warned, "If you do speak with me in the DMs, you know it's always on IG." Many stars have sent out similar warnings, including Bregman's castmate Connor Floyd, who earlier this month posted an Instagram story to make it clear that he only has the one social media page and cautioned, "If you are communicating with anyone using my name or pictures, it's not me. Keep a sharp eye." The Young and the Restless spoilers weekly update for March 17, 21 tease the week ahead is full of tune-in next week, so you can catch all of the action in Juneau City. Phyllis and Sharon received a disturbing message from their captor about their future. Nick reluctantly joined forces with Billy as they both decided they needed to search for Sharon and Phyllis. Audra covered her tracks with Nate after he saw Holden and her at the GCAC. Summer caused a rift between Kyle and Claire when she insisted they end their date night to tell Harrison that Phyllis was missing and possibly kidnapped. That's okay though, because Holden broadened his horizons in town by introducing Claire to a new drink at the GCAC bar. Phyllis' captor forced her to make a tough decision about Sharon's life. Phyllis and Sharon took control after Phyllis revived Sharon. They decided to attempt to figure out an escape. Chance comforted Summer as she worried about her missing mother, and he also had some clues to her disappearance. Traci shared surprising news with Jack after she agreed to marry Alan. Alan looked at a feed of Sharon and Phyllis as he sat in the park with Traci's engagement ring. Victor questioned Adam's decision-making. Unfortunately, Phyllis and Sharon fell into a trap. Jack made a confession to Diane. Sharon and Phyllis fought for their survival, and their efforts were rewarded when the guys found them and kicked the door in. Meanwhile, Traci got a glimpse at a notification that popped up on Alan's phone. Security breach at clinic. Precautions enacted. The cryptic message gave her a moment of pause. While captivity usually humbles a person, that's definitely not the case with Phyllis. She spent her time in the basement with Sharon being her loud and in-your-face self, and it was working for her for a while. Well, not anymore. As of Monday, she fell to the ground in pain, and it seems a tainted bottle of water was the culprit. The situation went from scary to downright horrific, and now Phyllis has to put her trust in Sharon to save them both. Oh wow, did Alan blow our minds this week? Yes, he absolutely did. We fell hard and fast when he sat Traci down on Wednesday and popped the question. How lovely, how sweet, how maddening. The day with Alan started off all sunshine, roses, and romance. But by the end of the episode, we saw this fella's true colors. No sooner did he run out to buy Traci a ring than he got on his phone to stare at a live feed of Sharon and Phyllis. Yikes. We have to wonder if Alan is actually Alan after all. A guy like Alan would never do such a horrific thing, right? But you know who would? His evil twin, Martin. Friday's show gave everything we needed it to give. A race against the clock with poison gas threatening to kill the gals, a locked door being kicked in, Billy running straight to Phyllis like she's his soulmate. We fully expected to see Nick grab Sharon and hold her for dear life, but Billy being that concerned about his past fling? Not so much. Is this a premonition that there's going to be more to come between them? Oh, we hope so. Phyllis and Billy may just be the endgame they've each been craving their whole lives. Wouldn't that be something? A prominent star from a rival soap is heading to The Young and the Restless, and a popular leading lady will be resurfacing. Here's the CBS drama's latest comings and going casting news. Find out who the two actors cited above are, as well as if any newcomers are joining the show in contract, recurring, or day player roles, or if any of your favorite performers are leaving the soap. Days of Our Lives star Billy Flynn, who has played Chad DeMera since 2014, is defecting to Juneau City. The actor has been cast in an undisclosed new role and will begin airing on Y and R sometime this spring. Because of Day's accelerated filming schedule, the actor will be airing on both shows simultaneously for several months. Meanwhile, Laura Lee Bell, who continually pops in and out as Christine Blair, will be popping in again this summer, specifically in June. Belle last appeared in January, when her character rang in the new year with Michael Damian's Danny, with the huge reveal that Christopher Cousin's Dr. Alan Laurent is behind Phyllis and Sharon's abduction. The actor gets more screen time, and so does his character's fiancée, Beth Maitland's Traci Abbott. The pair are back on Monday, March 17, when Traci interrogates Alan. Maitland also appears on Wednesday, March 19, in scenes with Peter Bergman's Jack and Susan Walters' Diane. Michelle Morgan, who played Amanda on Y and R, is about to become Hallmark's new leading lady. Michelle Morgan made a brief return to The Young and the Restless. Unfortunately for soap fans, she has moved on from the show. Now, Morgan is switching gears and moving to Hallmark. Say hello to Hallmark's new leading lady. Morgan will bring her acting chops to the network. In 2023, she starred in her first film, Christmas with a Kiss. This year, Morgan will star in 4 romantic comedies for the network. According to a report via Daytime Confidential, the first movie of spring 2025 is Hearts Around the Table, Sherry's second act. Morgan plays a woman named Sherry who's getting over her breakup. She returns to Washington, D.C., where she wants to get in touch with her artistic roots. Sherry gets inspired when she meets art gallery owner Evan. The movie premieres on Saturday, March 29, at 8 p.m. ET on Hallmark. It will also be available to stream shortly after on Hallmark Plus and Peacock. There are 4 movies in the Hearts Around the Table series that are all premiering on Hallmark this spring, according to Hallmark Media. Morgan will star in all 4. She is the lead in Sherry's second act, but will have a supporting role in the other 3. The other 3 movies are Hearts Around the Table, Jenna's First Love, Hearts Around the Table, Josh's Third Serving, and Hearts Around the Table, Kiki's Fourth Ingredient. They will all premiere throughout the months of March and April. This is great news for Y and R fans who miss Morgan on the show. In the meantime, Morgan made a major change to her hair. What are your thoughts on Morgan's new role? Are you excited to see her on the Hearts Around the Table series? Do you miss her on Y and R? Let us know in the comment section. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 17, feature Nick going all out for Sharon, Billy keeping an eye on Phyllis, and Traci questioning her new fiancé. Alan did a very, very bad thing, and he's not doing a great job at keeping it a secret. That notification that flashed on his phone screen at the Friday show has Traci on edge. What exactly does security breach at clinic, precautions enacted mean? Traci wants to know, and she wants to know right now. We have no doubt Alan will think fast and find a way to cover his tracks. At least for now. We can't imagine it will stay that way for long, though. All it will take is Traci hearing about Phyllis and Sharon's plight, and surely she'll put the pieces together. Traci is a smart woman, and she's lived through enough to know to trust her gut. Meanwhile, Billy sticks close to Phyllis and even makes a new discovery about her. Will this be something that puts him on edge or makes her even more endearing? Billy may be all lovey-dovey with Sally, but he's known for having a wandering eye. Could that eye wander Phyllis's way again? Fixing what's broken. At the same time, Nick works to put supports in place for Sharon. The poor woman has suffered so many horrific twists, and it's going to be a rough recovery. She had barely gotten herself back on her feet after that attack by Cameron, only to be a pawn in Jordan and Ian Ward's games. Then to be kidnapped again. Sharon is going to need a whole lot of love, a good amount of therapy, and a strong shoulder to lean on if she's going to get back to herself. She's a strong woman, but this series of unfortunate events could break the best of them, and Nick isn't taking any chances. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire Grace Newman recently met Holden Novak. While Claire seemed caught off guard, she did like the Vesper that Holden recommended. Holden backed off the second he realized Kyle had a date. However, they crossed paths and it aired for a reason. Could Claire and Holden share a forbidden kiss, igniting Kyle's jealousy? Summer Newman's distraction. Fans watched as Kyle took Claire out for a romantic date. Before they even got started with dinner, Summer Newman charged in. Summer crashed their date to talk to Kyle about Harrison Abbott, insisting it was an emergency. Then, Summer made up a story about the possibility of Harrison hearing about his grandmother from a classmate. As if 7-year-olds really go around talking about missing persons and unsolved police cases. Summer's little distraction only semi-worked. While Kyle returned to Claire, she was being occupied by a handsome stranger. Holden Novak's chance meeting. While Summer was distracting Kyle with her fake emergencies, Claire was approached by Holden. Claire didn't seem to care for the martini too much. So when Holden suggested a Vesper, she was surprised to find how much better she liked that drink. Before they could even exchange names or get acquainted, Kyle came back. Claire did try to introduce the men, but Kyle glared as Holden tried to disappear into his bar stool. Claire graced Newman's forbidden kiss. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Summer keeps distracting Kyle with one thing or another. In a preview clip for the week of March 17, 2025, Summer freaks out over Phyllis' possibility of being in danger again. So Summer will likely use this as even more reasons to get closer to Kyle and tear him away from Claire. That could have Claire and Holden crossing paths once again. Maybe the two will even share a kiss. Kyle Abbott's jealous face-off. Of course, when Kyle finds out that another man is moving in on his lady, he will get jealous. Kyle could face off with Holden and tell him to back off. Of course, Holden seems polite and like a guy who doesn't start fights, but I could see him standing up to his rival. Holden might wonder why Kyle keeps leaving a pretty girl like Claire all alone at the bar. Claire would likely try to keep the peace, but would Holden be a better match than Kyle? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Martin Laurent, also known as Alan Laurent, could be planning to abduct Traci Abbott next. Determined to keep his romantic fantasy intact, let's explore the potential twists and turns of this unfolding drama. Alan is really Martin. At this stage, it's clear that Alan is in fact his twin, Martin. Fans of Y and R will remember that Martin was a menacing sociopath who confronted Alan, and both fell over the balcony during their clash in France. While it was assumed that Alan made it through the fall, it appears that Martin is the one who actually survived that fateful encounter. By assuming Alan's identity, Martin has tricked Traci into believing he is the man of her dreams. Nevertheless, it seems Martin truly has feelings for Traci and is reluctant to let her leave his side. Alan aka Martin's a better man because of Traci, he claims. Viewers listen to Martin's heartfelt speech about how Traci has made him a better person, leading him to believe he might actually deserve someone like her. In his mind, winning Traci's affection could serve as validation that he's not the monster everyone perceives him to be. However, if he were to lose Traci now, that fragile illusion would come crashing down. While Martin appears to be comfortably playing the role of the kind and ordinary Alan, he hasn't truly transformed. His involvement in the kidnapping saga of Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers proves it likely Martin could resort to kidnapping again before his storyline reaches its conclusion. Will Martin kidnap Traci? Will Traci fall prey to Martin's sinister plans and find herself in a perilous predicament trouble brews when Martin catches sight of Traci holding his phone, setting off a chain of events? As Traci begins to probe Alan about the unsettling texts regarding the clinic's security breach, she can't shake the feeling that something is amiss, even though he'll claim he's been hacked. Meanwhile, the shocking revelation of Sharon and Phyllis being found at Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic is bound to send ripples through Genoa City. Traci may connect the dots and realize that Alan is the mastermind behind the terrifying game, ultimately forcing him to confess his true identity as Martin. This revelation could lead to a harrowing scenario where Martin takes Traci captive, possibly threatening their lives, insisting they must go together to their graves. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Billy Flynn is jumping from Salem to Genoa City. The character name and details are being kept under wraps, but he should debut later this spring. So let's get started speculating on what Flynn's character could do when he lands in the CBS soap opera. Billy Flynn's big move. Fans just received a shocker earlier this week when it was announced that Flynn was leaving Days of Our Lives. The actor had just celebrated 10 years on the soap as Chad DiMera. So it was a shocker for sure. Then, in addition to that, fans learned that the soap star was moving from Salem to Genoa City. As a fan of both soaps, I'm sad to see Chad go, but super excited to see Billy on Y&R. Kyle Abbott's romance. Thinking about how Billy's character could shake up GC, it's clear that Summer Newman needs a fresh love interest. Summer is divorced from Kyle Abbott, but can't seem to shake her feelings for him. Summer keeps crashing Kyle and Claire Grace Newman's dates. Summer also uses any excuse to spend time with Kyle, even if it's just talking about Harrison Abbott. Kyle has already tried setting boundaries with Summer. It seems he is getting quite annoyed with his ex-wife's antics. Right now, Summer is beginning to act like Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, when she pines after a man. By the end of it all, Summer might successfully break up Kyle and Claire, but Summer might not get the man she wants either. So that will leave her single all over again. Chance Chancellor's fizzled relationship. However, Summer has already tried a romance with Chance Chancellor, which doesn't seem to be going anywhere. She is also a Newman, which drastically narrows her dating options in GC. So a fresh face would be just the ticket for an exciting storyline. Fans are really tired of the same romances and love triangles. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Flynn's character name hasn't been released yet. However, it will be interesting if he has any connections in town already. Flynn and Lanier do look like they would look good together, though. It would also be interesting to see how Flynn's character interacts with Victor Newman, Phyllis, and others in Summer's life. Victor is not someone who is easily explained. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 17, 2025 are here. In the next episode, fans can expect Traci Abbott to interrogate Alan Laurent. Nick Newman brainstorms a way to help Sharon Newman. Plus, Billy Abbott makes a discovery about Phyllis Summers. Alan Laurent's secret. On Monday, March 17, fans will see Traci have to deliver some answers to Alan. At this point, we aren't even sure if Alan is who he claims. It seems he really could be Martin Laurent. When Alan was out of the room, Traci saw an alert come up on his phone. Traci could read that a security breach happened at Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic. Before Traci could really process the information, Alan came back into the room. Alan stopped talking and his entire demeanor changed. The psychiatrist demanded to know what he was doing. While Alan will demand answers, Traci could soon flip the tables on him. Traci is sweet and gentle-natured, but she's also very smart, perceptive, and careful. So when Traci starts grilling Alan, what kind of cover story will be given to her? Will Traci continue to be deceived by the sinister psychiatrist? Billy Abbott's discovery. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 17, reveal that Billy will make a discovery about Phyllis. Now, the women have already been rescued by Billy and Nick. Perhaps Billy learns that Phyllis was poisoned and Sharon had to save her. Billy might also learn that the person who kidnapped them is still out there, which means the women are still in danger. Maybe Billy will insist on staying with Phyllis to make sure she's okay. While Sally Spectra has been supportive so far, that is definitely crossing a line. It won't be long before Billy and Sally have a romantic complication, especially with Phyllis in the picture. In the next episode, fans will also see Nick form a plan to help Sharon. In the weekly preview clip, Sharon grills Nick about his feelings for her. Nick has never really expressed if he would like to reunite or not. At the same time, this directness could make Nick wonder if she's having mental problems from her repeated trauma. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of March 17, 2025. It shows Amy Lewis has been hospitalized. Traci Abbott is confronted by Martin Laurent aka Alan Laurent. Summer Newman fears her mother is still in danger. Plus, Sharon Newman grills Nick Newman about his heart. Amy Lewis hospitalized. In the preview clip for the week of March 17, it is revealed that Damian Kane stops by Nate Hastings' apartment. Damian comes in and immediately questions his half-brother about Amy. It seems Damian heard that Amy is currently in a Chicago hospital. While this is devastating news, perhaps Damian will go to Chicago and really reconnect with his mother. Over with Nick, he is going to get questioned by Sharon. It seems that the kidnapping experience will have changed both women in different ways. For Sharon, she will be upfront and direct with her ex-husband. Sharon asks Nick if he ever thinks about them getting back together. So, what will Nick say about his heart? Even if it's a no, at least Sharon will know for sure instead of always wondering. Summer Newman's fear. The Young and the Restless spoilers for next week reveal that the preview clip also shows Summer catching up with Phyllis. As the two talk about the kidnapping experience, Summer is surprised the captor wanted the women to be found. Then, Summer reminds her mother that the villain is still out there, which means she is still in danger. With nobody having any idea it's Martin, Phyllis and Sharon could start getting really paranoid of the wrong people. Traci Abbott busted. Over at the Abbott manse, Martin and Alan returns to suggest they go out on the town. However, when Martin and Alan sees Traci looking at his phone, his face gets dark. The villain demands to know what Traci is doing. Of course, Traci is caught off guard by the sudden change in her fiance's demeanor. Will Martin and Alan quickly cover, or could Traci be his next victim? Clearly, Martin and Alan wanted to wait until they were married to complete his nefarious plan. With Traci seeing that security alert, could she be in grave danger? What happens if Traci goes missing next? What exactly is his endgame? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Sharon Newman's and Phyllis Summers' multiple breakthroughs indicate that a threshold has been crossed. Could it be that these longtime rivals will keep the hatchet buried after they escape Alan Laurent's horror show? His Wizard of Oz event appears to be nearing its end. The audience feels the crescendo because Alan was seen looking at a live smartphone video of his human lab experiments just after he asked Traci Abbott to marry him, and she accepted. Before addressing the latest heartbreak Maitland's character is set to endure, a soapy analysis of a very unusual storyline has to be offered. Why so soon after Sharon Newman's abduction? Back-to-back kidnappings are unrealistic and particularly strange. One wonders what the intended plot link was between Sharon being kidnapped by Jordan Howard and then being abducted by Alan so soon thereafter. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. Fans have long accepted abductions. Generally, some unhinged character seeks revenge or has a planned agenda. It made sense that Jordan didn't want to follow Ian Ward's plan to kill Sharon. Zink's now-departed character gained leverage when shifting strategies during the period that she turned against Ian. But to see Sharon taken captive again, right after she escaped Jordan, felt ridiculous. However, the peace she and Phyllis have realized opens many intriguing possibilities and could make this implausible tale worthwhile for those characters. Alan is a well-known psychiatrist who is semi-retired. He was introduced to the audience through Traci's sister, Ashley Abbott, and initially appeared to be a potential love interest for her. The twist of Alan having a deranged identical twin, Martin Laurent injected into his world in Paris, France, could have been a one-off, but the audience wasn't shown the fateful scene where the brothers fought each other and fell out of a second-story window. The Laurent twins were dressed in the same clothing. so it wasn't possible to tell who died because a camera shot wasn't on them from the window to the ground. Soap fans are savvy and banked that climax, knowing Martin may have survived. The slow build until this late winter storyline could conclusively prove that Alan died last year and that Martin assumed his brother's life ever since. That reeks of Marco Anicelli doing the same to Jack Abbott, along with other identity switchers like Patty Williams. Martin Laurent keeps the ruse going, so the audience might be in on the ruse this time around if fans are told that Martin is playing Alan. In that instance, Martin could avoid being identified as Sharon's and Phyllis' abductor and proceed with his marriage plans. Sadly, Traci is being set up for a significant emotional catastrophe. And why exactly does this have to happen to one of Genoa City, Wisconsin's sweetest souls? Traci lost her daughter, Colleen Carlton, years ago. She's also suffered other maladies. There's no reason for Alan or Martin to have specifically chosen her to become involved with. Yet it's happened, and she will eventually realize psychological victim status. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.